There we go.
Well, welcome everybody. Let's get started, and welcome to all of you who are here. And I'm sure there are some other folks who will be joining us. You know, I got to say at the outset, it's great to see people on screen, but I wish more than anything that we could be gathered together in a room, and that's what we were all hoping for this holiday season, and we're not there yet. And in the spirit of taking care of ourselves and each other, we're doing something creative and meeting yet again on screen, doing some cooking together. And, you know, looking forward to when we can gather in the same room and feel safe and comfortable doing so, and greet each other and welcome each other and hug each other and do all those good things. But not quite yet, unfortunately, but here we are. You know, it's been a challenging year. There's no way around it. Where this pandemic is still with us, and Omicron is our latest wave. And I think we're doing, as individuals and as an organization, doing a remarkably good job of taking care of ourselves and each other. But it is not easy. So we all deserve credit, and to give ourselves and each other that credit, and give ourselves some slack for doing as well as we're doing. So one of the good things this year, I've had the honor of being here as interim acting and then interim executive director since June, and getting to know some of you, not all of you yet. And really feeling like it's a privilege to be here and to contribute what I can and to learn a lot from all of you. And there's been a lot of changes. We know that, in terms of people coming and going. And it's been tough. But one of the good things that has happened in the last few months is that we have gotten back up to a point where we're fully staffed, and actually staffed better than Ashby Village ever has been. And one of the ideas and wonderful things about this event today is the opportunity for many of you to meet new staff people, possibly for the first time. So that's a treat all around. And that's what part of today is going to be about. Besides cooking, you will hear people introduce themselves, and Su-Yin will be the MC asking them questions, and you can submit questions in the chat, and Su-Yin will direct you about that a little bit later. But for now, I just want to give my own huge shout out and appreciation to our staff, who you see there in their own square. So starting from, well, what looks like the right from my perspective, Su-Yin Bickner, who's now our operations manager. Yeah, give a big wave and smile when it's your turn. There you go. Cool red Christmas sweater. Kate Sosin, administrative assistant, has been incredible, anchoring the office during all this time, often by herself. And wow, we've all depended a ton on Kate. Thank you, Kate. Okay, next. Pretty sure that's Charisse Hanshaw. Yes, hard to tell. Charisse is our development and communications manager, who actually started with Ashby Village as a volunteer last spring and is now on staff. And thank you so much, and you'll hear more from Charisse in a bit. Next, pretty sure that's Karen Dean, right? There we go. Okay, it's like the big reveal, right? Okay, Karen is our member services coordinator, who's already very hard at work and really working diligently to respond to members' needs of all sorts. So thank you, Karen. And you'll hear more from her in a bit. And then our newest person, Jessica Sterling, is our volunteer services coordinator, waving yet another red sweater, but a crown. I think is that a Hanukkah crown, Jessica?
Yeah.
I think yes. Okay. So you'll be hearing more from everybody in a bit, but now I'm going to turn it back over to Suyen, and she is going to take it from here. Thanks so much.
Lots of tech, and thank you. We can't turn the camera around, but Howie is our wonderful tech support for this event. Thank you, Howie. Okay, so I think there's like a 5% chance that one of you is cooking with us, but we did try to make this a cooking event so you can cook along. We included the recipes in the invitation. So we are going to be cooking, and hopefully it's going to turn out well. So we're going to walk through the recipes. We have many helpers, and you're gonna get to meet staff along the way. Please do use the chat. I'm monitoring the chat. So if you have questions for all staff, for any staff member, please include those. And let's get started. Okay, so popovers. So Kate is gonna help me with the popovers. We're gonna make half a recipe. We're using muffin tins, which I tested this recipe and it works, but they're smaller, so they make many of them. So I made close to like 2 dozen. So we're making half. So all you're gonna do, you're gonna preheat the oven to 425, put your muffin pan in there. While that's heating, you're going to whisk together the milk. So we're doing half a recipe. So there's 1 1/4 cups of milk in the bowl, 1 1/4 cups of flour and salt, and whisk it up. And then after that's whisked, then you're also going to whisk in 3 eggs. And we're going to whisk, and Kate's going to keep whisking along. And as that is happening, we're going to have Jessica come and introduce our next recipe, which is our soup.
Well, first of all, the popovers already look amazing. So we're making popovers and we're making soup. This soup is a Martha Stewart recipe. It's a hearty winter vegetable soup. And we here in the Ashby Village Kitchen are using vegetable stock. We're making it completely vegetarian. In fact, our soup recipe is vegan. The popover recipe is vegetarian, but not vegan. So we have started preparing a little bit of the chopping so that we keep on our schedule, but we will go through the process. So if you're following along or you want to make this for dinner later on or on the weekend, then you should be able to do that after our instructions and with the use of your recipe card that you're printing out. So Suyan, would you like me to start cooking the soup?
Yeah, why don't you just go through the ingredients from
Oh yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
So we have the 2 tablespoons of olive oil measured out. And Karen, can you put that in the pot and warm it up a little bit, please? And we're chopping here. Charisse is chopping up the carrots, which are going to look a bit like this size, right size, that you can eat. And the celery, she's cutting up on the bias, which look like that. Thank you. We've pre-cut the leeks. I promise we didn't cry much, but and then we also rinse them afterwards because often you inside the leeks there'll be a lot of dirt. So Karen prepped the leeks, and we are, after the oil is heated up, we're gonna put in, as it says here on the recipe, the leeks, the carrots, the celery, the garlic, salt, and chili peppers. If you like it spicy, put in another pinch. And if you don't want it spicy, just forget about it. It's okay. If anything in this recipe you don't like, you don't have to add it in there. So we're adding those vegetables in phase 1, and we're going to saute them until the leeks are translucent.
Awesome. Okay, so step 2 of the popovers is Cherise is going to get, so you have put your muffin tin in the pan or in the oven and let it preheat. You're going to get the pan. I don't know if you can zoom all the way in. So you take the stick of butter. I found it easiest. Literally just hold the stick of butter and you're gonna butter the inside really good all the way to the top, to the edges. That's gonna help so it doesn't stick when you take it out of the oven. Once those are all buttered, then Teresa's gonna bring it over here and you're gonna fill each of the tins a little over halfway full. I just used a 1/4 cup measure in each of the cups. We might have leftover. And then you're going to put it in the oven. And then we're going to bake this first round for 20 minutes. So while that is being done by Cherise, we're going to have Karen come and introduce herself, share a little bit about her background and what brought her here.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I'm Karen Dean, and I am the Member Services Coordinator here. And I started in the middle of October. So have been on a quick and steep learning curve since then. It's been pretty awesome. And doing all kinds of amazing things and meeting all kinds of amazing folks here at Ashby Village. As for what I did before October, I spent most recently got my master's in social work from USC. And before that, I spent many years working in adoption with various things that are adoption where I came to in. So, you need to say more? That's it. That's it. Or I guess you ask some questions.
Yes. So please do send your questions to the chat. Yes, Marilyn, we know it's hard to hear with the masks. With the new mask mandate that went into effect on Wednesday for California, regardless of vaccination status, we have to wear masks. So we're trying to protect. Closed captions are on and available, and hopefully that will also help. We apologize, but you know, such are the times. Okay, so what's going on with the soup? Jessica?
The soup's cooking. The soup is cooking. It's I wish the spoon would stir itself, but I'll get back to it. So the leeks are cooking. They've got maybe 2 more minutes, and then after it's softened a little bit, I'm going to put in the vegetable stock in the water, and I pre-measured that. And because I want this to be on time, I did preheat it. But the recipe says to pour it in and bring it to a boil. So that's my step. That's my next step, right?
Okay, so we have some pre-decided questions for all the new staff to answer. So everyone's going to yell their answers. So are you a dog person or a cat person?
Both. No.
Both. Okay, one at a time. Both. So we have 2 both. And Karen, you're a dog person. Okay, we're going to go in order for this one. What's the first thing you learned how to cook? Karen.
The first thing I learned how to cook was rice pudding.
Ooh. Who taught you?
My grandmother taught me how to make rice pudding, and I made it a lot.
Great. And Jessica?
The first thing that I learned how to make it was an omelet.
Ooh.
A cheese omelet.
That's pretty fancy.
But with not just plain. Not so fancy.
And who taught you?
My mom.
And Cherise?
I really can't remember, but I'm sure it was some 1950s era casserole that used Campbell's soup and some vegetables and some starch, but I really cannot remember, but it's something like that.
Awesome. So, you know, the point of today is to get to know new staff, but you all know Kate. Kate will join in and answer when she wants to. You want to answer? The first thing you learn how to cook?
The first thing I learned how to cook was tacos. And thank goodness, because that's what I fed my family just about every night for 25 years. You can put anything in the taco. That's what I learned.
Awesome. Okay, and in reverse order, we're gonna say, what's your favorite thing to cook now? Kate.
Oh, I like making a really big steamed vegetable dish with sauces that I mix together.
Yeah. Cherie?
Not a dish per se, but I love to grill and grill through all the seasons, all year round. I love to grill all kinds of vegetables because I'm a vegetarian. I love to grill pizza. I'll grill it just about anything.
Yeah. Jessica.
I like to cook anything from an old-lang cookbook. That's what I'm into right now. Oda Lange. He's a chef out of London, I believe, England. And he cooks a lot of just gorgeous food. I cook out of the Jerusalem cookbook, the Plenty More, which I believe those are vegetarian cookbooks. Simple. He has a whole, I could just cook Oda Lange food forever.
Awesome. Karen?
I would say by myself, I still really like to bake cookies. That was something I did with my grandmother a lot, and still bake cookies by myself. As a family, I really like, we make dumplings and pork buns, and those are super fun to do as a group. And that is one of my favorite things to do with my family.
Okay, so the soup is souping. The popovers are popping. So let's have Charisse come up and introduce herself. Yeah, that's up close. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm Charisse Nasha. I am the Development and Communications Manager. I started around mid-October, and the three pieces of my job really entail development, communications, and outreach. I spent most of my time, my early weeks in development and working on the annual fundraising campaign. That's been really, really fun. I came to Ashby Village, as you heard earlier, as a volunteer earlier this year, and was doing some work on the communications committee. So it's been, I've had the pleasure of getting to know a number of members and volunteers during my volunteer time. So I feel like I have a little leg up on the other two, my other two new employees here. I came to Ashby Village volunteering right before that, finishing my master's degree in nonprofit management. And my earlier career was in marketing and market research. And so I hope to bring all of those things to my new role. It's been such a pleasure working with absolutely everybody that I've met so far. Everyone is just so generous with their time, and I really enjoy sharing a common passion and a mission. That's been the most exciting thing for me so far. So it's nice to meet you all.
Great. Okay, well, soup.
The soup.
What's the soup?
The soup is boiling.
Yay! It smells really good. I wish you could smell. We had smell-o-vision. Howie was working on it, but he didn't quite get there.
Okay, so I'm going to turn it down, and it's going to simmer for 15 minutes, which is basically the time the popovers are in there. So I think when the popovers come out,
well, then there's another part.
When the popovers come out, we're going to put. We are going to put. No, we can put these in now. Sorry. We're going to put the squash and the potatoes in now. Okay, so what I've done, we cut the potatoes up into little cubes, little bite-sized cubes. This butternut squash, can be a challenge for any cook, really. You need a really sharp knife, and you have to be really careful with it. I use a vegetable peeler to get the outside off. First, chop off the ends, then I peel it, and then I slice it into, like steaks, and then cube it. Now, to spare you that, watching me do that,
and for safety reasons,
I pre-cut it up. So as you can see, this is a whole butternut squash, basically about 1.5 pounds. And I'm gonna put this and the potatoes in.
I start 15 now. No, so no, let this go down to the end and then we're gonna lower the heat. Okay, so the popovers continue to bake. They have 15 more minutes about until we turn the heat down to 350. The soup now, step 2 is going. So we're gonna ask some more questions. Please send more questions in if you have any specifically for staff. Let's start with Karen, because you're here. Favorite place to walk or hike in the Bay Area?
So I will say that my favorite place to hike is, or walk really, is Fort Funston over in South San Francisco. And that is a place I have had the privilege of taking every single one of my family members. So that's a pretty special place. So.
And dogs?
And dogs. I've had 3 since we've lived here and all of them have gone too. So yeah, everybody.
What, say the name again?
Fort Funston.
Oh, fun. Oh,
Yeah.
Great. And Charisse?
I would say it's a toss-up between the Dipsy Trail in Mill Valley to Stinson Beach and right up in Tilden, Inspiration Point over to the peak there. I just love getting up to a point. The reward for me on a hike is the view. And so those two have that feature and I love them both.
Nice.
Jessica?
Yeah, I love to hike. I live in Oakland in the hills, and any chance I get, almost every single weekend, my husband and I will go up to Sibley Regional Park or Redwood Regional Park. We'll pick a different trail, take our dogs sometimes or not. And I think that's my favorite place to hike, but really anywhere in the hills or Marin, anywhere there's a view. Yeah.
Nice. And I know that Kate is a walker. So Kate, what about you?
Oh, I love to hike and walk, and I love doing Point Reyes trails and the beaches around there and Tomales Bay and Inspiration. Inspiration's great. I like the view too. And I love going on urban hikes too, where you can go from the ferry building to Sausalito and then take the ferry back. That's a very fun hike walk.
Wow. And are you still training for?
Yeah, I used to be a runner and I don't run now, but I do a lot of walking and I like long walks. So I'm going to do a couple of half marathons next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to do one with you.
Yeah. What are you thinking of doing?
Well, hopefully it won't be closed like this year. I want to do the Monterey. They closed it for COVID, which is kind of weird because it's outdoors, but whatever. And so hopefully it'll happen next year. And then I want to do the San Francisco one too. So one's in September and one's in November.
Good deal. Very impressive. Very. Okay. Any other soup steps or everything's cooking away?
Let me check. It's cooking.
It's cooking. Okay, great. So
we need the timer for 15 minutes for the soup.
Yeah, should I start?
Yeah.
Well, this is for the second part of the popovers.
Oh,
but it was similar. So
similar.
when this one
Okay.
goes off,
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So while we're waiting for the soup to keep cooking and the next popover step, Jessica is going to do her introductory spiel.
Hello, my name is Jessica. And I am the volunteer services coordinator at Ashby Village. I will also be working on the events planning with all the event planners out there. And I've been here for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something like that.
Barely.
This is my first holiday party. And where I came from community relations. That's where I came from. And so I have to say, I really like working with people. And I'm so looking forward to getting to know as many people as I can on Zoom. And then I'm gonna love to see you in person too. So let's look forward to when that happens. Yep.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. Well, amazingly, we're ahead of schedule, which is great. Oh, when does that? What are these, and when does this go in?
So the next step after the 15 minutes is we will be putting in the chickpeas, which are drained and rinsed. And then this is called, this is escarole. I don't know if I'm saying it. This is escarole. And if you can't get this, because I couldn't the first time I did it, I used kale and it was very tasty. The kale held up very well in the salad. I've never had this.
It's a lettuce.
It's
right?
It's,
Like
it's
a
a
lettuce?
green leaf. Yeah, it's like a lettuce. Karen said it's maybe sweet. Looks sweeter than sweeter.
Okay.
So that's going to go in, and then this is at the very end. We have a little bit of lemon juice and the herbs that goes at the right before we're going
When
to
we serve it.
serve it. Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, next question. How many questions come in? People are very happy. All new staff are here. Welcoming. Happy that Jessica joined Sigrid's events. Very happy, Jessica. Okay. What is your favorite season and seasoning? Jessica.
I think my favorite season is the fall because I like to wear fall colors and sweaters and scarves. And my favorite seasoning is maybe actually cumin. Ooh, I really like cumin.
Yeah. Karen.
Gosh, okay. So I actually really like fall too. I think if I had to pick, but partly it's because summer is super fun and the fall is kind of a chance to just regroup and restart and refresh. I was raised by 2 teachers, and so there was always sort of the build up to the end of summer and the start of school, and it was always a time to kind of like set the reset button, and that has always been something I've kind of stuck in my biorhythm, I guess. As for seasoning, goodness, you know, I think I will. I'm going to say cinnamon. I have no idea why, but I'm going to say cinnamon.
Very season appropriate to where we are now. Yeah, look, and you're going to be using cinnamon.
There you go.
Therese?
I'd say my favorite season has always been spring. And, you know, you just gave me another memory back to school. Part of that is because you just knew school was going to be out and summer was coming. But I love the turn of the temperature and the smell of all the new fresh grass coming out. I just love that time of year. And equally the fall. I think the shoulder seasons are really, really enjoyable. Seasoning, I use so many. I love them all. How about my current favorite that's in high rotation right now is a blend that I get at Trader Joe's called Sofritos. And it's got dehydrated onion and red pepper flakes. And it's just got all these really yummy, I've been putting it on pasta and in salads, and it's yummy. Nice. Highly recommended.
Miss Kate, do you have any?
Yeah, I love fall, except now that we don't have too much fall here, I really would say winter is my favorite season. Because I'm one of those oddballs that likes cool weather and cloudy days and rain and snow, but we don't get snow. Yeah, yeah. And I love so many seasonings too. Cinnamon, cumin, and all the stuff that's in the one you just said. And clove. I love clove.
Mine. Fall is definitely my favorite season. I love the colors that come out and the coziness that it brings. And yeah, the slowing down, I think. Seasoning. I'm going to say cinnamon. Yeah. Or actually garlic salt. I don't know if that's a seasoning, but I really love garlic. And garlic's not a season, so I'm going to say garlic salt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have about 5 minutes left on the popover.
Okay. Can we look? Can you see how they're looking?
Sure.
Maybe don't open it, but if you can peek and make sure they're not burning. So
They look so, they're popping.
they're popping.
They are popping.
Wow.
They look amazing, actually.
So the popovers, because we're using them, they say to cook it in a popover tin, which no one has. So I use a muffin tin, and they cook very fast. They bake very fast. So that's why I just wanted to check it. I tried to make these in my little toaster oven at home for the first round, and then they got so tall that they burnt. So it is important to put them in the oven, the real oven. So as we're getting close to those popovers, the first time we're being done, you then turn it down to 350, and then you're gonna, the recipe says 25 minutes. I ended up only doing it for like 12, so half the time about. They just looked brown and pretty on top and seemed done. They're pretty much cooked through. Any last steps for the soup, or we're just letting it
yes.
cook away?
As soon as when you turn down the oven for the popovers, we will put in the garbanzo beans and the escarole. And then I think it's almost at that point, we return it to a boil and then stir in the last bit, and then we're done. So I don't want to stir in that last bit until we're really like done.
Okay.
But
we're doing pretty good though. So maybe why don't we intro the mulled cider? So our last piece of the recipe, or the meal, I guess, is a mulled cider recipe, which Karen brought us. So take it away.
Okay, so we, since it's a work event, we are making this a non-alcoholic beverage, which I've never done. We've always added a variety of alcohols to ours. So at any rate, I think what is really wonderful about mulled cider is that while it's cooking, the smells that come, they're just beautiful aromas. So anyway, like I think Jessica had said, it seemed just like a nice seasonal, cozy thing to add. So at any rate, we're going to go through the ingredients. We have some unfiltered apple cider, and it's unfiltered. It's kind of important that it's unfiltered actually, because otherwise you get the graininess, and that doesn't evaporate when you kind of mull it through. So you want to try to get unfiltered. And then I cut up, some people were going to cut up their oranges differently. We always do it in slices, but you can cut them up however you'd like. And then we have 12 cloves, and then we have my favorite cinnamon sticks. We have 4 of those, and then we have, let's see, you had put this together, the cardamom seeds, or pods. And then this is packed brown sugar, and the allspice berries are together.
Yeah,
cardamom pods.
In the cardamom.
Okay. So a little combination of the ingredients, but at any rate, you can just stick them all together. And really, what you do is you pour in the apple cider, you simmer that, and then you stir everything in, and let it simmer for 25 minutes or so, or however long you want it to. It's really it's one of these recipes that you, I think, want to get the ingredients right, but the timing of it is really how fast you want to start drinking it. So,
Perfect. Yeah, so we can start putting it together and letting it cook on the stove top, and then everything will hopefully be coming together right about the same time.
What's the temperature that needs to be turned up to?
Yeah, so the first 20 minutes on the popovers are done. So we're going to turn the oven down to 350.
Okay.
So
We've got a traffic jam in the corner of the kitchen.
Yeah, down to 350.
Thank you.
Great.
And then the stop my next 15.
Yes, and you can try the next 15. And great.
I'm going to add the garbanzo beans and the escarole to the soup.
Perfect. And you said you rinsed them?
I did.
you wanna.
I don't think I'm gonna add all of this.
I mean, giant comment.
But it might cook down.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
still,
do half and then half. I don't
It's a
know.
lot.
well, you can see how much it fills the pan.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll cook down to half of it.
Because I'm curious to taste it like not cooked too.
Yeah, you could leave some out and put it on top, you know, put some raw
Yeah.
with the
Yeah, just put it there.
spices.
I'm so curious. Has anybody put in the chat if you've ever tried escarole?
Hello, maybe?
What's the mumblings happening?
Oh, just conferring.
Oh, just reading another recipe. Okay. Okay, so that's going in. So this next question I've heard and I thought it was hilarious. It's a would you rather? So would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? Cherise.
Wait,
And
what's
why?
the first choice? What's the first choice?
One horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses.
Horse-sized duck.
One.
One, not hurting cats. I think I could take down one.
Karen.
So I'm fighting them is the whole purpose
Yeah.
of this idea.
Mhm.
Well, of course, one.
But it's very big.
But if one is always easier than more than one. And 100 seems impossible.
Yes.
And Jessica.
I gotta go with one. Yeah.
This is mom wisdom, I'm just gonna say.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's misdirection. You
Right.
gotta just go with the number.
It's
So I would
just,
go with one too.
yeah, so have you ever been on a field trip?
With toddlers?
20
Yes.
first graders?
Okay, so Jessica, Judith said she's never tried escarole and her grocery store didn't have it. So she's using a combination of endive and kale.
Ooh, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yay, Judith, are you cooking along with us? Are you our only cook? I can't tell. I hope so. Some people in the chat have said they're not making it now, but they're gonna make it for holiday parties. So hopefully
It's a winner.
yeah,
winner.
hopefully they're all winners and they're easy. We chose them because they were easy and fast. And yes, we are actually here at the Ashby Village office in the Thousand Oaks Baptist Church where our office is. So one day soon, Jessica's here for events. We hope to have live events happening again with more than just us.
Yes.
I would like to say or invite those that are going to cook these recipes. If you feel like taking a picture of your finished recipes and emailing it to me, I will collect them all and maybe we can do something fun with those.
Nice. That would be great. Irene says escarole is soap. Oh, in soup. Escarole in soup and with pasta. Okay. Everything is going good. We have 10 minutes or less on the popovers. The soup is.
I'm gonna turn the soup off.
You think it's good? You could maybe lower it.
It's low.
It is bubbling.
It's bubbling, and the
It will
mold
be very
cider
hot.
is
Yeah.
cidering. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're almost ready to serve.
Did you put all that in there? All that escarole?
No, it's too much. So much.
Recipe adjustment.
It'll be escarole
live.
soup. It'll be escarole soup.
Okay, so for new staff, what is your favorite thing about Ashby Village so far? We'll start with the most senior staff member of our new staff, which is Karen.
Well, I would have to say hands down, it's the people that I've gotten to work with, and that's the folks here, the one in Costa Rica, and all of you. It's just a remarkably supportive and welcoming group, and I feel really privileged to be here and working with everyone.
Cherie?
I know, I'm gonna have to echo that, as I mentioned earlier. That truly is the best part of working here. Everyone is just so gracious and kind and thoughtful, and we're all working toward the same thing, and it just feels really great to be in that environment.
Jessica?
Well, would it just be odd if I said that it's the people? You know, this staff that I joined, I just, you know, who knows when you join a staff, what it's going to be like for real. And in these first 2 weeks, it's just been, even though it's mostly Kate and I in the office, but Tuesdays, everybody shows up, and then I'm on Zoom, and I met a lot of teams already, and a lot of people one-on-one on Zoom, which have been just a great introduction. I just feel really supported as the new kid on the block. And so, yes, the people, and including the staff and the volunteers and the members, everyone.
And as our true most senior staff, what is your favorite part about Ashby Village?
Oh, well, I would say the people, but all of them, the members.
Yeah.
And getting to know them over the years, even though a lot of it's on the phone, it's still getting to know people that way. So, and the volunteers, and I have 2 wonderful volunteers that come into the office every week. And then all of you guys. So now we have people to share us with. It was kind of a lonely place for a couple of years, but not anymore.
Yeah, and I would also say, I mean, the people is, of course, it's what we're here for. It's what Ashby Village is about. It's the community. But I think with that, it's also the energy that the people bring. There's so much heart and passion and care in every interaction you have with people here, no matter what the community is. So I'm so happy to have our new staff here who are only bringing and expanding that energy and heart and all of it. So it's very exciting, I think, for Kate and I especially, to close out the chaos of the second year that it's been with a full staff. And we're definitely all looking forward to what 2022 might bring.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
Bring it on.
yes, bring it on. Okay, well,
So
maybe we should start serving.
Do you want me to?
If you guys are ready,
I
how
can
are the
put-
popovers looking?
Oh, if we're serving, I'll put this in then.
Do they look?
They
Trees, can you-
pop.
They look golden.
They look
They
golden
are
brown.
popped.
Okay.
It says it has 5 more minutes or so.
Yeah, it's, you know, oven to oven, and I've already reduced it from the actual time. So if, in my mind, if it looks brown on top, I think it's good.
Okay.
This is my very professional cooking judgment.
I'll take it.
What would Martha do?
What would Martha do?
You're the popover expert in this group
It's
right
true,
now.
I just trust it. And if you want to put it here,
Yeah, Martha would.
I don't know.
She'd tear one open and eat it. That's what she'd do.
Okay.
That's what she'd do, right?
Of her.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, as we're serving these, we have a question from our board chair, Andra. So she would like to hear the staff tell us what they're working on now and what they look forward to in your jobs. And I'm going to start with Karen, who has been here the longest.
Okay. Okay, what am I working on now? So I would say what I'm working on now is, you know, when I first got here, it was really just to get a sense of kind of how Ashby Village, what it looks like, what's the organization, and what are the teams that I'm going to be working with, and kind of getting a sense of the various moving parts of my role. And I feel like what I'm doing now is taking a deeper look at how can I help those teams work efficiently, and most importantly, how can I be helping to enhance communication among the teams and programs so that there's, you know, some streamlined services for everybody. So that's what I'm doing. And what I look most forward to, I think is really feeling, you know, there's some ideas I have for what things can look like in the future. And I look forward to being able to put some more thought into that and not feel quite so much like I'm still learning everything that I will need to be able to do those things. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Great. Cherise. And look at our popovers.
I know. Just steaming with the soup. So delicious.
So we're making real food. This is not all for show.
We will actually eat this.
Okay, so Cherise.
Yes, I am mostly focused on the annual appeal. I get very excited to see what donations come in every day. This is a part of my job that is new to me professionally, and I'm just so excited about this piece, working on raising for Ashby Village. And so that is going to be most of my focus still remaining through and into January, probably as a primary focus. And then, you know, quite like what Karen mentioned, there is a lot happening every day. And I am looking forward to the point where there's not so much new coming in so that I could actually, you know, have some thoughtful approach to things and feel like I have a handle on the communication pieces and get involved in some more new outreach activities. And I'm looking forward to that in the spring. Hopefully that'll start feeling more solid and both feet on the ground.
And Jessica?
Well, I have to say, one of the first things that that I did as a events planner was this holiday party with Sue Yin and everybody here. And I have to say, looking at how you got to look at the soup. Looking at the soup, popovers, and we're going to have this mulled cider. I mean, I think it's a success. So I'm very happy. Next on the list, volunteer training. So that's what I'm focused on.
And I would say that for me right now, I mean, as I said, it's so exciting to have new staff here. And my job is making sure new staff are getting up and running, getting grounded, trained, onboarded. And then I'm really excited to move into my operations role, whatever that means. It's been really fun training and kind of seeing where the boundaries and overlaps are for new staff. It's going to be a lot of figuring that out, but definitely for me, supporting and continuing to support the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative in the new year around partnerships especially is on my list, definitely up there. So amazing. We are well on time. We have a beautiful spread. How do we think the mulled cider is looking?
It's pretty good. I think it, you know, it's one of those, it's very hot.
It's very hot. That's good.
So, and it smells good. So I think it's, you know. Should we try it?
Yeah, let's try it. And as you saw, the popovers could not be easier. Yeah. So for anyone who is not usually a baker, they are incredibly easy and they turn out, knock on wood,
I'm gonna pass.
pretty consistently good.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, and Kate, what are you working on now? And what are you excited to work on in the new year?
I I'm excited to work on helping with new volunteers coming back and with training. And I would like to learn a little bit more tech skills. So I'm excited to have Suya who can teach me. And otherwise, I'm just working at holding it together.
And doing it
and which you do, absolutely.
It's you know, it keeps changing, so that's a challenge and it makes it interesting.
Okay, so as we're closing out, and everyone can move up front once Karen's done with the cider, we have a fun little game on the poll, which I'm going to start. So each of the new staff members have a little known fact about themselves, and you have to guess which staff member it relates to. So please go ahead and complete it. Question number 1. This staff member used to ride a motorcycle. Ooh, who was it? Okay, question number 2. This staff member, although never having been to California, convinced her boyfriend to move to San Francisco with her from New York City. They are now married with 3 kids and have been living in California for 34 years. And the last one, Kate and I are included in this. This staff member toured the US with an R&B band in which their husband-to-be was the bass player. So please submit your answers. We're gonna turn the music off and eat a little bit while this is going. And then we'll reveal who it relates to. I don't know what the mask. Do you think that's okay?
Yeah.
Mask?
When you're eating, what are you gonna do? You can separate everybody in their corner.
I have a bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Do we want to go home for coffee?
Yeah, what about
Yeah, I'll take it with it.
do we have another
I'm just
bowl?
gonna eat a couple of them.
Popovers? Yes, thank you. Kate, you want a popover?
No.
These are the
What?
boys.
Oh, yeah.
This is heaven right here.
And dance. Are we dancing? Is everyone dancing?
Thank you.
This is too hot.
Take this off, you can smell it. Good, it smells.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't before then.
Flaky, delicious.
Vampire soup. Excellent soup.
Excellent popovers.
Yay.
Popovers are really good.
Okay, 14 people have answered, so let's keep bringing your guesses in.
Yeah, these are so great. I like escarole. More escarole. Need a bigger pot. Yeah.
It's delicious, Jessica.
Yeah. It's a winner.
It is a
The
winner.
winner. Okay, I'm
I
gonna
like the
end.
seasoning.
I'm gonna end the poll. Okay. So, wow, there's a lot of splits. People don't know. Okay, this staff member used to ride a motorcycle. 59% guessed Charisse. So, can the staff member whose fact it is?
You.
Can the staff member whose fact it is reveal yourself?
It's me.
All right.
Any story? I mean, it says used to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I did used to. Yes, so I bought a motorcycle when I was in college at UC Santa Cruz, and I rode it around, and then it broke,
Oh,
and I fixed it myself,
Wow.
which, yeah,
wow,
right?
that is impressive.
And then I sold it. I'm not having that anymore.
Okay, question number 2. This staff member, although never having been to California, convinced their boyfriend to move to San Francisco with her from New York City. They are now married with 3 kids and have been living in California for 34 years. So it's a split 41% each for Karen and Jessica. So it's not Jessica, now we know, so it's me.
Which then reveals the last one.
It's true.
By default.
That is true. And so by default, this was, okay, so the last one, this staff member toured with the US with an R&B band in which their husband-to-be was a bass player.
Wow.
41% said Karen.
Wow. That would have been fun. Did you sing?
But it was me. And you must have some fun stories from that time.
Yes, I'm not sure this is the place for them. But it was when I was quite young. I was 21 and just took that year, and we drove from place to place up and down mostly the East Coast, and stayed each place for about a month. It was like a hotel circuit where they used to have like the, the clubs in town back then were in big hotels, and so we stayed for a month at a place and just hopped around. Wow. Saw a lot of interesting things during that year. For sure.
Did you sing? Did you sing?
Me? Oh no. No, but I ran some good tech in the lighting.
Oh.
Before we close out, can we ask our camera person to come reveal themselves, and we take a bow of So we will pay you in food if you ever want to come to support our events. Thank you everyone for joining us so much today. It's what a crazy time. And we wish, as Avi said at the beginning, that we could have done our big holiday party like usual in person, but we hope this was a little fun to close out the holidays or start the holidays. And I wanna, for us here, I'm gonna stop the spotlight so staff who are here can just see. If you want to turn your cameras on. So staff, if you look at my lap, you can see everyone who's here.
Hi, everyone.
Staff couldn't see, we couldn't see you all. So it's so fun to be able to see who came and joined us today. Thank you, thank you. And I'm gonna stop the recording. And if you want to unmute yourself and just say,